Today, we got to learn so much about the importance of branding and marketing with Ashlyn and Avery and how it can apply specifically to your business. Welcome to Sweet Independence, the podcast for beauty professionals ready to build the business of their dreams. I'm Kristen Kinzel, founder of Utopia Modern Salon Suites. With 34 years in this industry, I've seen firsthand the power of independence and community. We'll ditch the stress, unlock your potential, and give you the clarity and confidence to thrive. Get ready to transform your career and build the fulfilling life you deserve. Your flourishing future starts now. Welcome back to our podcast. Today, I am here with Ashlyn Faith Branding, and Avery with Set Theory Marketing. Welcome, and thank you guys for both being here today.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Tell us let's start with talking about how you got started. Ashlyn, how did you get started? I got to know you first through photography.
Yeah, I have done senior photos for a long time, and then I actually skinned by Whitney Kistler. She was like, oh my God, like you should do branding. I feel like you'd be so good at it. And I was like, are you sure? Like, because it wasn't really trending like 2 years ago. Yeah. I feel like just now it's kind of like huge. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, no, I really think you should. And I was like, okay. And so I did her branding photos, and then like the following month, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do like discounted sessions. I think they were like $500 a pop. And then I booked like 15 sessions. And that's how it was all of November. And then it's kind of crazy because like those clients I booked that first month are like the clients that I still have today, which I think is really cool. Like Body Bar, Melissa at Terra Skin Studio, Bobby Lane, which I think is really, really cool because I've built really close relationships with those people.
So you accidentally figured out you were good at it.
Yep. And then they literally just picked up from there. And then it's just gone really great ever since. I think I've gotten really lucky.
Yeah. No, you do good work.
Got some loyal clients.
Yeah,
too,
I do have loyal clients. They're the best.
Yeah. How about you? How did you get started?
Well, my story is kind of like backwards, I guess. So I was in my undergrad for nursing school, and I thought I wanted to be a nurse. And then COVID hit, and I was like, this is not for me. And I just kind of got introduced into the marketing world. So after I finished my degree out, I was like a year away from being done. So I was like, it's not worth it. I'll just finish it. Finished it, and I ended up getting my MBA. And you have to focus in something. And I saw on the list digital marketing. And I was like, that sounds interesting. Like, we kind of grew up in the social media world. So I was like, oh, it'll be easy. Like, I already know how to do everything. Well, you don't know what you don't know. I got into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more to it. But it was so interesting. So I took a lot of like consumer psychology classes and things like that. And I fell in love with how the consumer mind works and wants to buy things. And my first job out of college was with a landscape company. I was their marketing manager. And it was actually my boss who was like, I think you could do this on your own. And I want to encourage you to start your own business. And he was like, I'll be your first client. And so
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's amazing. And the reason I'm doing it, he's the owner of Johnson's Legacy Landscape. So I kind of owe my business to him. But yeah, I branched out, started my own company, and he was my first client, and he still uses me now. So that's really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Loyal clients.
I know.
Love them.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of them.
We do.
So then how did you two start working together?
Well, we went to high school together, so we've known
I
each
didn't
other
know
for
Yeah, we both
yeah.
went to Trinity.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we've known each other for 8 years.
10, yeah.
8, 10.
Yeah, yeah, a long time.
How did we kind of like rekindle? I don't know. You moved to California.
Mm-hmm. I was in California for 2 years, and then I moved home.
So you've been friends and you're in a similar industry, really. Mm-hmm. When did you realize that you should partner and work together?
I had reached out to Avery because I just realized that we had a lot of similar clients and stuff. Mackenzie at MeadowMed, and we used Desiree a lot. And I just was like, okay, let's go to Newport. Let's meet because I have an idea. And she was, okay, I want to hear this idea. And I was like, okay. And so we went to lunch, and I was like, okay, I do so many photos, and I feel like, I don't want to say frustration because that's not the right word, but I feel like it's so hard for me when like I do the photos, but then people don't know how to use them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the hardest thing is I'm like, oh my gosh, you could do this, you could do this. Like, you should be doing all these posts, like making graphics, doing all these things. Like, it's so easy to use Canva nowadays. And so I was like, people just don't know how to use it once they have it, which then makes me feel sad because I know shooting with me is like a huge investment. And so then when they spend the money and all the time to do that, and then it just feels like, I'd say 70% of my clients don't even know what they're doing with them, then you're like, okay, well, that was wasted. But like, I don't do social media management. I don't have time. But I was like, oh my gosh, Avery does. And so I was like, well, then we can give her all my photos and then she can help people realize like how to use it, how to do story posts, how to make graphics, how to do all your marketing and stuff like that. So that's kind of like, I had the idea of like, how can I fix everyone else's problem? Because it makes me sad. I'm like on Instagram, I'm like, where are your pictures, girl?
Yeah.
And so I got with Avery and I was like, I think we should make a collaborated package to where people could get like the full thing, where it's like you get the photos, you get the photo shoot, which is super fun, and then you get to just let Avery do it all for you, and then you get to learn about it too, because you get to kind of watch all the behind the scenes of what we do too. So that's kind of how that transpired.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
And that adds so much value to what you both offer.
Well, I don't feel like there's very many other people in Wichita that do that either, which I feel like also helps set us apart. So it's like, oh, like you don't have to only do photos and then be like, oh God, what do I do with those? Or only do graphics and be like, well, I have really crappy photos. I don't really know what to do either. I don't know where to go. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop, kind of like the simplicity of like in a wedding when you're, hair or stylist, makeup artist. I have them both in one. Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't have to go outsource this person, outsource this person. Now it's just one-stop shop, which makes it super easier. It's a one-stop shop for marketing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since we're such good friends, like we just work together so seamlessly, which I think is so cool.
Yeah.
I think that's very unique to have two professionals in similar but different industries that just really like mesh and work together so well. I think you get a really like unique blend of this visual storytelling that Ashlyn gives and then this strategy side that I can give, but to have the two working together, because typically you're going to a marketing strategist to get direction and then you're finding a photographer that's not related to that person and you're just hoping the two mesh.
So then you as the marketing person are trying to work with photos that maybe are harder to work with too, or something they've done themselves.
Absolutely.
I do see that in our community where beauty professionals, not necessarily people who work at Utopia, but just the people that I follow, they have the marketing, but their product or their photos and stuff, I just think,
yeah.
Not that I'm an expert or one to
there's
judge,
a specific look that you need for like, you want it to be clean, you want it to be pretty, and like you don't need sad, cloudy, grainy, blue and green.
Like for instance, if we have an esthetician brand that is wanting to portray a very like luxury, clean feel, we're not going to deliver dark, noisy
funeral photos.
Dark, noisy images, because that's kind of breaking the illusion of this brand world that you've created. You've worked so hard to create. It's breaking that illusion for your consumer.
Well, and I think that's a part of understanding too. Like I think, of course, everyone has different styles and stuff, and I'm not saying my style's for everybody, but I think, like, again, like she said, like an esthetician, it's like you want pretty, clean. Like when I'm going to look for an esthetician, I already have an amazing esthetician, but like when you're going to look, you're like, oh, clean, bubbly, like skin, glowy. Like you're not looking at like, oh, gloomy, sad, looks like it's raining outside. Like it doesn't make you, like when you think of like big brands like, I don't know, Hydrinity or Face Reality or Rode is a great example where it's like it's all bright and like clean, and like they do a lot of like food product stuff too because it's like yummy. Like I want to go there. I want to use that product because it's so like appealing. So I feel like a lot of people just don't understand that even if it's not your personal like aesthetic, that it's like sometimes it's what's good for your marketing and to catch people's attention.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like people aren't necessarily buying a product or a service. They're kind of like buying into this whole world you're inviting them to be a part of. And so like I always use Apple as an example for my clients. Like they've created this world that's minimalistic and clean, and it's high technology, but it's so clean and minimalist, and that's what people are buying into. Like at the end of the day, you're not buying a laptop or a phone. You're buying into this world that they want you to be a part of, and they've done so in so many different aspects. Like their website, their brand messaging, their packaging is so clean and minimalist. The interface of their products are so highly intelligent yet so simple. Their stores even are so minimalist. Even the way, if you've ever been into an Apple store, the way that the employees speak to you is this simple, minimalist, but highly technology savvy.
Everything's perfectly consistent.
Exactly. And that is
from what you see online to what you're holding in your hand. And like you said, walking into the
Absolutely.
store, it's all perfectly consistent.
Absolutely. And that's the world you're buying into. You're not necessarily buying the product or the service. It's this world they're curating you to want to be a part of. And I think the most successful brands like Rode, you use for an example, like they aren't creating a product. I mean, they are, and it's important for that product to be quality as well, but like they're creating a space that you want to buy into and you want to be a part of. That's what you're buying into.
You guys do a great job of putting your talents together and helping people create their branding. And I want to talk about, why should someone, such as a beauty professional, invest in photos to be done by you and marketing to be done with you? What would the benefit to them be? How would that change or impact their business?
I mean, I feel like just when you go to someone's page, I mean, you can tell the difference of like, oh, they definitely have marketing versus, oh, they don't. But I think it's like when you are looking specifically, whether it's hairstylist, esthetician, I mean, there's like waxer, anything in the beauty industry, when you go to someone's page and it's like, okay, you have like 4 posts, which makes me feel like you have no clients, or I have no idea what you look like. I don't know anything about you. Like when you aren't relatable or like you just have no presence at all, does not make me want to go to you. Like I look at your page and I'm like, and you could be great. You could be super talented, super sweet, super great person. But it's like my first impression is what I see when I open your page. If you have nothing or a bunch of random graphics or stock photos, like it just, I have no idea who you are. Like that's a stock photo.
Yeah.
You're not in it. Your products aren't in it. It's random stones on someone's back. like it's like the most random picture. And so I just think like your first impression is so important because like, and that's someone who's around it all the time compared to someone who knows nothing about it, who's going to look at your page and be like, I don't really even know what I'm booking. Like I see that it says massage therapist, but I don't really know. Like it gets dicey. And so I just think your first impression is so important. So when you go to your page and then it's like, oh my gosh, like this is Avery. This is what she does. Like this is where she went to school. And like you like have information like I don't know, like a get to know me post, or you have like, oh, like this is the client she worked with this week, or like this and that. Like, that's why I think also posting on social media, like everyone's so scared to post, me, myself included. I've been trying to show my face more this year. And so I think like people just want to feel like they can relate to you and
know what the experience with you feels like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like if I don't know what I'm walking into, it makes you feel more uneasy compared to like, oh yeah, she seems really bubbly. She seems fun. She seems colorful. Like I have an idea of what I'm walking into as opposed to like, I don't know. I know she takes pictures. Don't know anything about her. Like, I guess we'll hope it goes well. So I think, I don't know, like social media presence is like huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of what you just said, like when I'm branding a client, I'm not just like creating a logo. We're deciding in that moment, like what world that brand's going to live in, how it attracts, how it makes people feel, what experience that consumer going to have with that brand. And just like my Apple example earlier, you can use so many different things to do that. And websites are a big one. Visuals are huge. Photography, visuals is typically the quickest way to communicate your brand messaging to a consumer.
Well, and you want to be able to be recognized. Like you can look at any phone and be like, yeah, it's an iPhone. Like you can look at a product, like you can even see photos and be like, oh yeah, that's Rode. Like, and I feel like I've had people say similarly to my photos where it's like, oh yeah, it's bright and colorful. Like that's Ashlyn's. Like I don't even need to know or click on it. Like I know Ashlyn took that. Where it's like you want to create a look for yourself and a brand that people recognize, because when you're scrolling, same thing, like someone who's really, really good at this is Brooke Bemis, where it's like pink brows. I know that's Brooke. Like it's so easy to detect. Like I don't even need to see the name. I could be like, that's Brooke.
Brooke
like
is an exceptional,
yes,
an
She does a great
exceptional
job.
example of excellent branding. And you know, that takes you places.
Yeah, well, and it shows because she's someone that's invested in it heavily. Like I've done so many photos and shoots with Brooke, and like she uses every single one, and her page looks fantastic, and like she looks so professional, and that's why she's booked out all the time, because she is so busy. She like doesn't take new clients half the time because she does a great job of marketing her business, but she has a look.
She also uses your stuff with her brand or Brow Battalion, where she does
All of
education,
her
all of her materials. She's shown me her workbooks
Yes.
and all of her
Like
things.
everything.
So it goes
Avery's-
far
yeah.
beyond. She uses it far beyond her social media.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And another thing I've seen people do with your photos, which I think is really cool in our salons, is use them for salon decor. I know you got real excited about one that we had that did
Dawns.
that.
Yes.
Yes.
Desiree has that too, I think.
Yes. Desiree.
Yes,
A lot of
when
people
they
have
take
it. Dawn was
them
the first one I
and
saw, though.
frame them, that
It's
is so
cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's so cool because, like, I think that's kind of the sucky part is that, like, most of the time, I'd say 50% of the time, like, I will do a photo shoot and then, like, I don't really get to see what people do with that unless I, like, go into their space. Like, I don't get to see Brooke's pamphlets and, like, all this stuff. But then sometimes I'll be, like, walking around or, like, I was just in edit the other day and I saw a pamphlet from another client that I had. And I was like, oh, my God, that's my picture on a pamphlet. I was like, where'd this come from? Because I didn't even realize, like, because I don't ever get to see that stuff. It's kind of, I mean, it's the same thing as like with seniors and grad cards. Like, I don't get to see it, but it looks really cool. So I think it's really cool to, like, when you step into a space, to be like, oh my gosh, look how they used it. I think that's so cool because they use it for business cards, like menus, decor, pamphlets, billboards. We just had a client who's doing a billboard yesterday in Oklahoma that it's like, people just do all sorts of different things.
That's
which I
cool
think
to
is-
see
it's
your
so
photo on a
cool.
billboard.
Yeah. Well, Natalia Biscup just did the same thing. Like, she does a billboard too, where it's so cool to be able to see how far your work goes. Because I don't really get to see it go beyond the studio after the shoot and then whatever they post on Instagram. I don't get to see all the physical parts, which I think is really, really cool for, like, me to see.
That's where
like-
you come in.
Yeah.
That's when you get to
Design the billboard.
Absolutely. Yes. And I think that's really
Yeah.
cool thing about working together too is like I will send her like, hey, I just used her headshot to make this billboard. This is how
Yeah.
it turned out. And so she gets the chance to see it a lot more because I'm more seeing the more final product, I feel like, than
Right.
you get to oftentimes. So I think that's kind of cool for you
Yeah.
too, to be able to see.
But
But
that's the benefit too of us working together and, like, with our package is that, like, there's so much communication between us two that, like, for example, we both do Meadow and Med Spa. And so she can just text me and be like, hey, I know you're going to be there today. I need this, and that. And, like, she's communicated with Mackenzie. I've communicated with Mackenzie. So it's like there's always clear communication. There's no, like, oh, I thought she wanted this or that. Like, I think that is
That's
also
nice.
another thing that
Really-
happens with branding is people are like, well, my shoot didn't come out the way I wanted and I spent $800 and then, like, I don't want to do it again because, like, I'm scared. It was a waste of money. Where it's like that's not really happening here. Like,
and I know it takes a lot off the client's plate as well because
Yeah.
their social media strategy for that month is handled by me. And then I'm just telling her exactly the visuals I need to make those posts come to fruition.
Yeah.
That makes my job easier because I'm getting exactly what I need and I'm not trying to edit a photo to make it work for the special maybe that
someone
client
that you've
has
had
that
no
week
contact
or-
with, like
Yeah.
a photographer you don't even know. You're like, well, I guess I'll try and make this work as best as I
Yes,
can.
and then everything is so consistent. Like now I'm refreshing Mackenzie Meadow Med Spa's website, and all the visuals match her Instagram and her marketing collateral. And back to this, my soapbox of these branding worlds, you're creating, and every single asset of your brand really should be reinforcing the message you're trying to convey to your audience and what you want them to feel when they experience your brand, because that's what people latch onto, not necessarily your service or your product, but how it makes them feel. What experience are they having when they click on your website or when they go get a service from you? Like, that's what makes people recognize your brand, build trust with your brand, want to see you
Right.
again.
Well, I think also it shows too, like, your side of, like, how universal, like, the graphics and your part of, like, the branding is, where it's like it's logos, it's your sticker on the door, it's your business cards, it's like your signs outside, like Mackenzie's massive signage, like on a stone building, like it's like all the, like, your creative stuff goes into all, like, the marketing content as well, that I think is really cool. Like, I feel like mine's more like the social media part, but then hers is more like the physical, like, I'm gonna see Meadow and Med when I'm driving down 21st Street and be like, oh my gosh, Avery did that, that's so cool. Like, to know that your stuff is, like, out on buildings and stuff, I think is really cool.
Mackenzie's a great example because what she did is build her practice as a nurse injector. And of course, she's a great nurse injector. We all know that.
Yes, absolutely.
But because she went so hard on building a great, solid, very consistent brand, I believe that's a big part of her growth. And so now, if you go to her new brick and mortar, Meadow Med Spa, you're probably, and at some point she'll grow, but you might not get Mackenzie as your service provider. But you can trust the company because you know it, you feel it, you see it everywhere. So if you're not going to work with Mackenzie, but someone else who works in her med spa, there's already credibility there that's been built by the branding.
For sure.
And I feel like so many people overlook that
Absolutely.
branding is so important. And I know it's a a hot topic, like you're saying now, it's a very trending topic, branding, but there is a lot of validity to it, and it really does promote a brand. I think it affects your pricing power and your demand, which again affects pricing power. So I think McKinsey is just a great example of that.
Absolutely.
And Brooke, I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
We have
It just
Pam
shows that it's worth the
Edmondson,
investment.
Yeah.
I think McKinsey did it right too. I see a lot of businesses doing this where like they start too big too fast. I just think people don't understand the patience and like the little tiny little details that really come into play to make your brand successful or not. Like it really is a make it or break it. And I think that's where I see a lot of brands mess up is they try to grow too fast and they're like, oh, I don't need that little business card. Well, those details matter.
Yeah.
They really do. And I think people try to outgrow too fast. I think what McKinsey did was great. She was just solo on her own in a studio suite, hired one esthetician, and then started to slowly grow. And now she has this big spa, but she's got so many loyal clients and so much credibility and trust, like you were saying, that she's built for years and years and years. It's so easy to be like, well, I want the big, beautiful spa, and I want it now.
Yeah.
So I think her patience also and just understanding that all these little things really do matter really also propelled
pays
her.
attention to all the details.
Well, and touching base
Absolutely.
on like pricing and stuff too. Like I know I have tons of people that are like, how can you charge that much for a photo shoot? I'm like, I started at like $50 a shoot. Like it's like I've been doing this for 8 years now. Like not branding only 2, but you start really, really, really low and then you just grow over time. Like I think people see super successful people and like, I'm gonna start there. You're like, no, babe. Like I went through the trenches first and now I'm here. Like it took a long time to get here. But I think it is like hard because you want to. I mean, I was the same way. I had people I looked up to when I was 19, 18, starting my business. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm like where they were, which I think is so cool. But I just think the same thing with like McKinsey, where it's like when you start at a smaller space, you get to keep growing and growing and growing. And I think that that's a really huge part of business that you don't see. You don't see all the times that she was really, really not doing what she wanted to be doing and doing all the grunt work. Yeah.
It was fun to watch her grow alongside of her. She was at Utopia, and when she came there, she was working in a urology office.
Yeah.
So it's been
so
really fun
crazy.
to watch her progress.
Yeah.
But back to what you're saying about people thinking that tomorrow I can charge what Ashlyn charges. I've got a camera.
Yeah, exactly. Well, everyone thinks they're a photographer nowadays.
I see that in the beauty industry so much, and it's so frustrating where people think they're going to get out of school and be charging, $75 for a haircut.
Right.
Well, we all had to do our time and build up to that.
$25 a haircut.
Yeah, and build trust and
your
credibility.
clientele.
Absolutely.
Because that's how you build your clients too. I mean, same thing I said earlier, where it's like when I first did like my first month of branding, like, okay, I guess I'll take a shot at it. And I booked however many people. Those are all the people that are still with me. And they've stuck with me from $500 a package to $2,000 a package. And like, they trust the business and they trust what they're going to get out of it. And they're like, oh no, I'm growing with you, which is so important. Like you want to grow together.
So you guys work with a lot of beauty professionals, several of whom work at Utopia. And you work with us as well.
Yep.
What is unique to beauty professionals in your business? What should they know?
I feel like that whole world is very oversaturated, and an esthetician is truly just a dime a dozen. And I think there's so many talented beauty professionals everywhere, but in this city in particular. And you can really use that to your advantage, or you can really let that hurt you. And I think that I'm trying to think what to say. Like,
We have to be able to stand out.
I think kind of like what we were talking about earlier of like showing your face, showing up on your socials every single day, popping on your story, talking to your audience. That's all building like a really authentic personal connection, because at the end of the day, if you're like a solo esthetician, you're working in a studio by yourself, you're not in a big hair salon or esthetician studio with other estheticians, you are the brand, essentially. That's what you're selling. You're selling your personality, and you're positioning yourself to find clients that are like-minded you. Like Ashlyn's a very fun, outgoing personality. So if she was an esthetician, I'd tell her, showcase that so that you attract clients that are also fun and outgoing and want to yap with you the whole time that you're doing their facial, or you know what I mean?
Just to bounce off of that, I feel like also probably all are like of beauty pros, like your services, like in-person services, like you're a service provider. So it's like you're either doing someone's hair, you're doing someone's face, your brows or whatever. Your branding has to be able to get someone to get to you. There's like a meeting place of like your Instagram page, your website, whatever it is, that you need to be able to get them to want to come to you because it's because it's so saturated. There's a billion hairstylists, there's a billion freaking estheticians that, yeah, I see that you do dermaplane and you do the same thing that every other one does, but I'm not going to book an appointment unless I really feel like, oh, like look at this reel of her doing this facial. Like I get to know what the experience is going to be like. Look at how much fun her clients are having when they're cutting hair and like it seems like a girl time. Like I want to do that. Like you're selling the experience without actually being able to meet those people in person, which I think is really hard because you have to be able to sell your personality, sell your brand, sell yourself. Like you said, your brand is who you are. And so being able to do that, being able to figure out how to master a way to do that through your branding before, because I think once you meet that person, then you're like, oh, I loved her. She's so nice. Of course I'm going back. But like, you have to get someone to get to the part of meeting you where you get to get someone to fall in love with you, and then they're a client forever. If you have a crappy social media, then they're like, I'm not booking and I'm never going to meet you. And you could be the best esthetician in Wichita, but I'm not going to bet on that if your social media sucks.
I don't think anybody really chooses their beauty professional, be it a hairstylist, esthetician, or anything, because the hairstylist does good hair.
No.
I don't think a lot of hairstylists do good hair.
Right. Yeah. There's so many
She's
talented
so nice,
beauty
and
professionals.
I could cry in her chair, and she was so, like, I love her as a person, and I will support her for the rest of my life.
And what do you always hear when you're like, oh my gosh, your hair looks so great? Who does it? They're going to tell you and be like, she is just the sweetest. You would love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very rarely are you hearing, yes, wasn't my blonding just look perfect?
Yeah.
You know?
No.
And I think there is pieces to that. Like, it is important to find, like, your USP, which is your unique selling proposition, like what sets you apart. And I think because it is so oversaturated, you can use that to your advantage, and it kind of allows you to niche down. So like there's a lot of, I've seen hairstylists start to pop up that are calling themselves gray specialists.
Oh yeah,
the
curly
blonding
specialist.
Yes.
And
brilliant.
I think
I love the niche down.
I think niching down, that's the perfect industry to do it. Now, like, we couldn't really niche down in this city because...
You kind of do, though. I mean, I feel like you have a vibe.
You can.
We have a vibe. And, like, I just mean client-wise. Like, I couldn't say I'm only going to work with med spas here.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
We have to be a little bit more broad.
Yeah.
But I think a part of the niche thing, too, though, is that, like, just playing back into branding, if you don't know how to, like, set up your page to where I can type in blonding specialist, I'm never even going to find your page because there's, again, a billion hairstylists, a billion facial people here in estheticians here in Wichita that it's like I might not even ever come across your page. Like you have to be able to know how to market everything. Like it's so important because if I can't, like when I need a makeup artist, I just type Wichita makeup artist. If your thing does not pop up, you could be the best artist in Wichita. I have no idea that you exist. Like, and if I did, I would send people to you. But like, if you don't know how to set up your page and like know all the behind the scenes stuff that Avery does, like all the analytics and all that, then you're toast.
Let's talk about that. Analytics. I do feel like that is so easy to overlook. It's kind of like looking at your books or preparing for taxes. It's not that fun.
Yeah, it's like QuickBooks.
But I love it when the gal who does my social media tells me about my analytics or Brian, the guy who produces our podcast, he tells me about the analytics. I don't go looking for it, but it's always interesting and super valuable. So talk a little bit about that, Avery.
Yeah. I feel like growing up, I hated math. Like, I'm not a numbers girl, but I can nerd out on these analytics numbers, and I don't know why. I think
do you have a hard time getting other people, your clients, to buy in to nerding out with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I send these like super extensive analytics reports and I'm like, gosh, I don't even know if they opened that email and read that.
No,
But
some
it's
of my
important.
clients
I'm
care.
gonna message
And some
you
of
and be
my,
like, was that good or bad?
a lot of my clients really only care like what their ROI is looking like or, you know, something very like broad like that. I think it's validating for me to see like, oh, what I'm doing is working.
Yes.
But it's so important because if you're just throwing whatever you can and hoping it sticks and you're not going back and checking in those numbers to see well, did it stick?
What sticks?
Then you have no strategy, you have no direction. You're just posting to post at that point. And that's not going to do your business any good because you can't just random hope it works. I mean, you got to look back
that's
at your
what people
numbers.
do.
Yes,
They're not working with
absolutely.
you. They're just being random.
So, and that's
How does working with you really bump that up? Can you see a big difference?
absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
So I think having like somebody educated in this that can really develop a strong social media strategy to follow is so important because you can't just post to post with no goal in mind. That's not going to get you a client. That's not going to get people in your door. It's not going to set you apart from, like we're talking about the beauty industry. Your content has to differentiate you from everyone else because if I'm scrolling and I'm seeing it, I'm like, I don't even probably take account whose account posted that because it looks like every other hairstylist post I'd seen on my whole feed all day.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think being able to have a strategist make you a very strong social media strategy to follow and then making sure that it's working because if it's not, then you need to reframe and you need to change your strategy up. You can't just like make a strategy and be like, all right, that's it. That's what's going to work for the year. If it's not working, then you need someone who knows what they're doing to turn around and be like, okay, this isn't working, but this is. So let's keep implementing this, but let's change this up, seeing if that works and constantly monitoring and changing as needed.
What's that saying that's like the definition of insanity? It's like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Right.
Yeah, that's what came to my head.
That's basically what a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
I don't think
And you're like,
people
"We're not
realize
growing."
that there's a certain way to launch products or post things that are getting people to actually buy them. You can't just make one graphic about your new service and then hope that one graphic everyone's going to see it and book from it.
That's so true.
Well, I think it's also like something like sticks out to me as like estheticians where it's like if I see, okay, this girl's face super broken out, like this poor girl, then she shows using these products 2 months later, look at her face. I'm like, yeah, sell the product. Give me the magic in the bottle.
Yeah.
Like I will spend $300 on that product because if it's going to do that for me, I mean, that's a part of marketing. It's the same thing as like how Instagram will put ads on your stories. It's like, okay, first time I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then I keep going. And the second time I'm like, okay, I'll click on it. Okay, third time I'm going to add it to the cart. And do I really want to
there's
spend this much
strategy
money?
behind it.
Right,
Which
yeah.
is-
But then the fourth time I'm like, okay, it's on
Sold.
my page 4 times. I'll get it. Like,
Well, and the reason that ad keeps showing up on your page is because
I keep clicking on
you
it.
stopped on it.
Yeah.
So that registers on their analytics. Oh, she stopped on it. So that system
Right.
knows to put it on your page
yeah,
again.
again,
The
marketing
average
strategy.
The average consumer has
Yes.
to see something 7 times before they purchase it.
Yeah.
Really.
So if you stop
I'm
for
4.
a half a second, I'm 4. Some people
I'm
are
4
more
times.
impulsive. She stopped on that ad for half a second. She stopped scrolling
Yes.
to look at it. So that tells that algorithm.
Doesn't it also know if you like make it big?
Zoom.
If you
Zoom in?
well, it's
Make
like
it big.
You go like this?
any interaction with it. Yeah. But it's flagging the algorithm, the computer is flagging in the system that, oh, this person might be interested in this ad.
So let's show her more.
So
Yeah.
we're going to show her more, or maybe different
Exactly.
ads that are the same campaign to the same product or same service, whatever it is. And it's going to keep showing up on her page until you
And I'm
click
going to
it.
keep buying it.
Are you
And I
able
now have
to
6 bottles.
and look at your skin?
Yeah. And now it's so glowy.
Are you able to show that to your clients? Can you show the difference? Like when you start working with someone, can you pull their analytics and then maybe 6 months down the road say, this is where you are and look at your sales and your
Yes.
revenue and do you see a correlation? Like, do you break it down like that with your
Yes, I
clients?
do.
That's exciting.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. They love
Look
it.
how
I would
much you've
say,
grown.
I would say I always take kind of base analytics when I first get an account so that I know where we're starting from. And then my clients get analytics reports every 4 months. So every 4 months they're getting how much their ROI went up, how much their engagement went up, reach, views, all of that. They're seeing a percentage number of how much that went up. And I think that's really exciting for them. And I think it also shows them that, okay, this investment is worth it and it's working. And not all my clients, I have access to their booking platforms, but the ones that I do, I am able to show them ROI or, hey, your bookings went up 50%. And I think they love to see
That's
that.
huge. I think, they say numbers don't lie. The data
Yeah.
really
It doesn't
tells
lie.
a story.
Yeah.
And I think as beauty professionals, we don't like to read that story. So it's great to work with someone like you who will put it in front of us
Yes,
and say,
and
no,
simply
look
put,
at this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think
And break
when
it
you're
down
when you're
yes.
looking at it on Meta Business Suite or whatever you're running an ad on Google Analytics, whatever, it can be kind of confusing if you don't know what you're looking at. So I think also having it rewritten and in a
In our
chart
language.
that's easier for people to read, it's very quick for them to be like, oh, my engagement's up 500%. Everyone knows that's a
And so
great
are my
number. You
sales.
don't have to be tech savvy or marketing savvy to know,
Right.
oh, my sales are up. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I think playing off like what you said too, like about just again, like how it is an investment. Like I think of like just listening to other podcasts and like videos on TikTok and stuff like that, where it's like people will go up to like millionaires and be like, how did you get to where you are? And they're like, I went $70,000 in debt on credit cards. And like, you like hear like, I grew up in a horrible abusive family. Like I started from nothing and like I invested in myself. I went into debt. I did all of this to be able to build. Like it was a lot of hard work to be able to be driving my Lamborghini in LA. But it's like people don't realize you have to invest to see the investment. Like if you don't invest anything, then you're doing nothing. You're like, it's how are you going to grow when you don't do anything to grow?
I tell her this all the time. I think the best clients are the ones that understand marketing's an investment on expense.
Yes.
I have clients that are like, they just trust me now because they've been with me for years, and they'll spend, a good amount of money to run a Black Friday campaign because every year they've seen that ROI almost double what they spent on it.
Right.
Sometimes triple.
I love that, looking at it as an investment rather than an expense.
Yeah. But that helps me. Those numbers help me show new clients, potential clients, like, hey, this really does work.
Right.
Yes, it's an investment, but it's worth it. You got to spend money to make money.
Well,
I mean,
feel like
truly.
your brain thinks like that just in general as a business owner. You're like, do I want to buy this $3,000 lens? No, but it's going to give me better pictures. It's going to keep growing my business where it's like, you have to think of it as like, oh, it's not an expense. I'm like, this is going to be worth it when I get to use it, pay it off, do all this stuff. Like you said, it's like playing off. Exactly.
And then it will profit you.
Yeah. Where it sucks at first. Like even when I did my internship, I was like, I don't want to spend $800, but it's like, then thank God I did because I would be nowhere near where I am now.
I think
that was the easiest $800 I ever spent. I'll spend 4 times $800 now. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think about that with my education. Like I spent a lot of money to get a master's degree, so that I knew what I was talking about when I was doing this. And when I didn't know what I was talking about, I was like in the first year of grad school and I was charging $450. And I kept telling myself, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. I'm going to, and not even the money, but just the work it took to finish my master's. It's going to be worth it. I just kept telling myself. And then once I graduated and I felt more competent in what I was doing, I was able to raise my prices. And now I am making a sustainable living on it. And I think it's also just so important. Again, it takes humility to say, I don't know everything and I need to be taught, because I do see a lot of social media, digital marketing businesses popping up from people with no marketing background, no marketing education. And it's really hard for me. I tell her a lot. I'm like, I spent a lot of time and energy and money getting this master's degree so that I was reputable and credible to these clients. And I think it's so important. I think it's what sets me apart the most from other companies. And I try so hard in my own branding to make people like see that. That's how I'm choosing to position myself as like an expert in that. And I think that I've attracted my ideal type of client because of that, because I'm attracting clients who are really serious about their business and really care about who's handling these very vulnerable parts of their business.
Well, it shows too just like the difference of investing in someone like Avery who has all of her degrees, who's done all this, who knows what she's talking about, versus someone else who's just like, oh, I think I'd be good at that and knows nothing and it's just winging it. Then it's like, invest cheap, you're going to get cheap results. If you get the crappy $10 sneakers, they're not going to be as good as the $160 sneakers, where it's like, it's the same thing in business, where it's like if you invest in a $200 photo shoot, you're going to get $200 photos. You're not going to get the magazine looking photos for that amount. Exactly. You get what you pay for, which I think, again, people are like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. But then like, same way, if you like, sometimes I tell Avery, if you divide that number into like a year's worth of content, like a month, okay, you're investing $200 in your business a month, seems pretty worth it to me. If you're making 4, 5, 6 times that.
Yeah,
Like,
that was one of the ways we chose to kind of market our package, because it is
Yeah,
honestly, it's a
monthly.
hefty investment.
it is.
But we have like a 4-month package, 8-month package, and then you can get a year of content also as a package option.
Yeah, tell
And-
us about that. Tell us about what you offer together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
tell us about it, Avery.
I would love to.
Please go from it.
So obviously we saw a need for kind of both sides of this strategy marketing side, along with this like very high level, high visual photography. And so we created a 4-month package, an 8-month package, and a year package. And so each of those include either 1 shoot, 2 shoots, or 3 shoots. So it's every 4 months. You get a branding shoot.
Get a branding refresh.
It's all styled. We provide all of the props, the studio.
We do all the hard work.
literally all the heavy lifting.
Well, 'cause
all
that's
you
the part of,
literally
like,
have to
the
do is show up.
Show up and look
Well,
pretty.
right. And like the branding part too is like people are like, I don't know what to bring. I don't know what props I need. I don't know what to get. Where it's like, that's the benefit too, is that like we do all of the work, where it's like, show me your inspo board. Let me know like what you want. And then I'll go to Hobby Lobby. I'll go get all this stuff, because you have no idea what you're getting anyways. Like what I see versus what you see is completely different. So like I'll go get all this stuff. Then you just show up. We'll make you look good.
Which
and
is
then
so
you just
amazing.
have great marketing.
Because especially when you have, like I was talking about Black Friday campaigns coming up, or Christmas campaigns, a lot of beauty professionals do Black Friday or Christmas campaigns. And so if Christmas is within those 4 months, then you're getting all of that content. So we always we have a big questionnaire, and we have a meeting with our clients beforehand, and they kind of let us know if they have specials or deals coming up. And then we're able to curate photos and visuals and graphics and reels and all the things that are specifically for Christmas time. So then you're getting this really specific type of content to be able to push these really specific types of specials. And I think that's also really unique, because I think a lot of business owners, they're busy running their business and they push that off, and now Christmas is 2 weeks away and I don't have Christmas photos.
Well, and then
All
they get
day
stressed
long.
out too, because they're like, I don't want to set up a tripod in the corner of my room and then try and edit all the content and do all that, where it's like, okay, well, what takes you an hour takes me 5 minutes. Like, let us do all the content. You don't need to go set up a tripod and try and get good enough content all day. Like, just let us do it.
And then again, it's strategized for you. You're knowing what to post and when and why.
And we're telling you what to do.
There's no guesswork in it. You're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
hoping
It's
it
nice.
works. It's all towards, the goals of your business, which I think is really unique
For sure.
as well. And then we also, should I tell them about our new one?
Yes.
Okay.
So we were just doing just the content for a while. So just the content itself, they would be in charge of posting it. We're now making a collab service with my full social media management and her photos.
Yes.
Is it just you two, or do you have someone helping you
It's
with
just
this?
us two.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So instead of getting the content to have to post yourself, it's full social management, but with her visuals,
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
which is
Oh, that's nice.
That sounds amazing.
so. I mean, that's even that's the most hands off you can really get with it,
Well, and
So-
the way that we curated like all the packages too is that like since we had so many of the same clients where like they book me separately, they book her separately, we curated it to where if you book these packages specifically, then you're saving money instead of and then we do a lot of the communicating instead of the client having to communicate with me, having to communicate with Avery. Then it's like we just communicate, and again, we do all the work. And it's just easy that way. And you save money doing it that way too, because then you're not outsourcing 2 people, you're just
It's
outsourcing
easier
one.
for both of you. Too.
Yeah.
It's less work on your end.
absolutely
Right,
And
for
then
sure.
just a better
we know
value all the way
what we're
around.
getting.
Absolutely. And there's tons more perks within that. Again, the studio's covered, all the props are covered, your strategy's covered.
When you just know. When I'm
we've-
taking photos, I'm like, I know exactly what Avery needs here.
Because I've told her, hey, I'm running this campaign this month.
yes.
And I need these exact visuals to do, because my content's planned before she even takes the pictures. So she's knowing exactly what I need. It makes her job easier, and it goes a lot faster. So that's easier on the client as well, because they're not in the
Yes.
studio for 4 hours. Oh, I hope we got everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ashlyn, I need this. And she's like, done, next.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
kind
very
of like having a
efficient.
business assistant in the sense of like everyone's dream of waking up and having a regular life assistant. Like someone does my hair, my makeup, makes me breakfast, tells me where I need to be today, drives me.
That's us but for your business.
That's us for your business. We'll tell you what to do, because everyone comes to a photo shoot and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Everyone's so stressed out, and it's when you work with us and it's I feel like a lot of our clients have a lot more confidence, and I see that especially with Mackenzie, just because she's someone that does a lot of stuff with us. We just show up. She goes, I don't know what we're doing today, but I'm
trust
ready.
you.
It's nice.
I know you'll handle
Yeah,
it.
where it's you don't even have to worry about it. She's like, I got my makeup done. Where do I need to go?
We have a lot of really cool partners within our collab too, which is really cool. So you get discounts on spray tans with Spray Me Golden.
Yes, we're collabed with a lot of owners.
We have makeup by Michaela.
Yeah, we have Michaela, we have Axie, we have
Boston Craig.
Yeah.
That's super valuable.
Yeah, so then you get discounts when you go to all those places too, because they're collabed with us.
Yeah. So they're
So
part
you
of
get a
our collab,
spray tan, your hair done.
I think we have Mayfield.
Yes, Avery Mayfield is the best hairstylist ever.
So we just have a lot of other perks too, where then, because you are shooting, every 4 months, if you're getting like a year package, that's 3 shoots.
But then you're getting the best of the best of every area. I'm getting the best spray tan, best makeup, best hair, best graphics, best photos.
Which was so
There's
gracious.
no place to be insecure or like worried. You already know it's
literally like all done for you, which is so cool.
That is nice.
It's a business personal
And it's allowed us to make a lot of really cool connections within beauty industry, another industry, which is so
support other businesses, because that's a part of it too, is building up other businesses too.
They're getting exposure that way and vice versa. So it's really cool.
Well, and then you get to make all those connections too, because like, for example, if someone goes to go get their hair done with Avery for the shoot, then they're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know you do color. And then like, that's a way for them to get forever clients, because then that's our way of being able to help get those people to you. And then you get to build those connections on your own. So I think that's really cool for us too. And I think it makes us feel like we're helping other businesses in that way, where it's like, here, take our clients as well. Like, let's all have the same clients. And like,
well, they're also going to send their clients your way.
Exactly. It's mutually beneficial.
Cool.
And we love having friends, other business owner friends. A lot of those girls are our age, which is really cool to meet other young business owners.
Super cool.
That's another really good thing. I mean, there's a lot of good that's come out of it, but that's one of the big things that we really love too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this with us today. I feel like we got so much valuable information, and we know more about what you guys do, but we also just know a lot about branding and photography and so many tidbits that are beneficial. So if someone who's listening wants to get in touch with you for your services or collab with both of you, how do they reach you?
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for having us.
Thanks. It was so much fun.
You can find us on Instagram at Set Theory Marketing or at Ashlyn Faith Branding. Our websites are in our bio, so you can click that, and our collab is there.
Thank you so much for listening today. If you haven't already, be sure that you are subscribed on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss a future episode. And if you would be so kind as to leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that would be incredibly helpful. It's one of the best ways to support your favorite shows. If you've already done so, thank you so much. Be sure to share this episode with a beauty professional who will be inspired by our conversation.
This show is part of the ICT Podcast Network. For more information, visit ictpod.net.